Good morning, everyone. They say how you start your day determines how you live your life. Your morning routine isn't just a set of habits. It's your personal launch pad. It's the foundation that fuels your energy, mindset, and purpose for the entire day. Today, I want to share 6 simple yet powerful rules that will supercharge your mornings and, I believe, transform your life. Rule 1: wake up with purpose, not pressure. Most people wake up each day in a rush. The alarm clock blares like a warning siren, dragging them out of bed with dread. They hit snooze, pull the covers back over their heads, and hope for 5 more minutes of peace before chaos begins. But what if your morning didn't feel like survival? What if it felt like an opportunity? A sacred beginning. Waking up with purpose means opening your eyes with intention. It's not just about getting up to go to work or school. It's about rising because your life matters. Because what you do today can create a ripple in the lives of others. When you wake up with a clear why, the how becomes easier. Life stops feeling like a burden and starts feeling like a mission. Pressure wakes you up with panic. Purpose wakes you up with power. There's a huge difference between the two. Pressure makes you reactive, scrambling, late, anxious. Purpose makes you proactive, steady, centered, clear. It's the difference between being pushed by fear and being pulled by vision. And in that quiet moment between sleep and wakefulness, you get to choose. Think of it like this every morning. Life taps you on the shoulder and says, "You've been given another day. What will you do with it?" Not everyone got that chance. Somewhere, someone took their last breath while you were still dreaming. So if you opened your eyes this morning, you've already won. Now, you owe it to yourself not to waste that gift. Having a purpose in the morning doesn't require you to have your whole life figured out. It doesn't mean you need a 10-year plan. It just means you wake up with the intention to move forward, to be a little better, a little stronger, a little kinder than you were yesterday. Purpose isn't about perfection. It's about direction. Set one small intention as soon as you wake up. It could be as simple as, today I will protect my peace, or today I will finish what I started. Let that purpose guide you, like a compass through the noise of the day. Don't let the world decide your mood before you do. Before you check your phone, check your mindset. And when the days get heavy, because they will, remind yourself why you began. Remember that your life isn't random. You have people to inspire, dreams to chase, and battles to win. Your morning routine is not just about coffee and checklists. It's about connecting with the deeper reason you're still here. So tomorrow morning, when the alarm rings, don't just wake up, rise. Rise with fire in your heart and calm in your spirit. Rise like someone who still has something to prove, not to the world, but to yourself. Because when you wake up with purpose, you don't just start your day, you start your legacy. Rule 2E, that is the number R, that the first hour of your day is not just another 60 minutes. It's the foundation of your momentum, the ground your mindset stands on, and the sacred space where your spirit meets your schedule. If you win this hour, the rest of the day often falls into place. Not perfectly, but powerfully. Because a calm, focused, and intentional start creates a ripple effect of confidence that touches everything you do. Too many of us wake up and immediately go into reaction mode. We check our phones, respond to messages, scroll through news, and let the world pour into our minds before we've even had a moment to check in with ourselves. The first hour becomes a flood of other people's opinions, deadlines, and distractions. But you can't build peace from a place of panic, and you can't lead your day if you're already chasing it. Winning the first hour doesn't mean it has to be complicated or packed. It simply means taking control. Whether it's 15 minutes of silence, 10 minutes of journaling, or a quiet coffee in gratitude, it's about protecting your space. Think of your morning like a runway. If it's smooth, the takeoff is steady. If it's bumpy, the whole flight suffers. Start by resisting the urge to grab your phone the moment you wake up. The world can wait. For the first time in years, give your mind a chance to hear its own thoughts before the noise begins. The notifications, the opinions, the comparison, all of it can hold off. You deserve a moment to just be. Use this hour to align yourself with your goals, your values, and your energy. Read something inspiring, stretch or exercise, reflect in a journal, meditate, or simply sit in silence and breathe. You're not trying to check boxes, you're trying to create clarity, because clarity in the morning becomes confidence throughout the day. The most successful people in the world, whether in business, art, sports, or leadership, often protect their mornings like sacred ground. Not because they're obsessed with discipline, but because they understand momentum. The first few steps you take each morning set the direction for the path ahead. One small win early on becomes the fuel for bigger wins later. And don't mistake early productivity for pressure. This hour isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters. When you start your day with intention, everything else has a place to follow. You begin to respond to life, not react to it. You become the thermostat, not the thermometer, setting the temperature of your day rather than adapting to someone else's storm. So give yourself that first hour. Honor it. Protect it. Let it be your moment of quiet power, before the noise, before the world, before the wait. Because when you win the first hour, you don't just set yourself up for a good day. You train yourself for a great life. Rule 3A, move your body. Awaken your soul. Your body is more than a machine. It's your vessel, your home, the physical proof that you're alive. And yet, so many of us begin our days disconnected from it. We jump into the business of the day without even acknowledging the body that's going to carry us through it. But movement, even simple, intentional movement, is one of the most powerful ways to wake not just your muscles, but your mind and soul. When you move your body in the morning, whether through a full workout, a light stretch, or a calming walk, something shifts inside you. You shake off the weight of yesterday. You release stagnant energy. You remind yourself, I'm here, I'm alive, I'm capable. It doesn't have to be about burning calories or chasing fitness goals. It's about creating alignment between your physical energy and your mental clarity. Movement is medicine. It doesn't just change your body, it changes your brain. Science has shown that even 10 to 15 minutes of light exercise can boost mood, increase focus, and reduce anxiety. But beyond the science is something deeper. Movement awakens presence. When you focus on your breath, your posture, your steps, you return to the moment, and in that moment you find peace. For so many people, the morning feels heavy. Whether it's stress from work, pain from the past, or fear of what's ahead. That emotional weight builds up over time. But movement allows us to release it, to shake it off, to push it out, to breathe through it. Sometimes the only way out of a mental fog is to physically move through it. And no, you don't have to run miles or hit the gym every day. Some of the most powerful movements are the gentlest ones. A few yoga poses, some deep stretches, or even dancing to your favorite song in your living room can shift your entire energy. You don't need a trainer, you just need a little trust in yourself. Your body knows how to heal. It just needs you to listen. Moving your body in the morning also builds discipline, not just the kind that helps you meet goals, but the kind that says, I care enough about myself to show up, even when no one's watching. That quiet consistency becomes your power. It's the small daily promise you keep to yourself, and over time, that becomes unshakable confidence. But perhaps the most beautiful part is this: when you move your body, you awaken something sacred in your soul. You stir the part of you that wants to live fully, not just exist. You activate your willpower, your joy, your inner fire. You remember that you're not just here to get through the day. You're here to feel it, to grow in it, to move through it with purpose and strength. So tomorrow morning, before the world demands your attention, give yourself that gift, the gift of movement. Walk, stretch, breathe, dance, lift, flow. Whatever it looks like, just start. Because when you move your body, you're not just preparing for the day, you're rising into it, fully present, fully alive, and fully ready to become who you were meant to be. Rule 4E. Feed your mind before you feed your timeline every morning. The moment we open our eyes, we are given a powerful choice to feed our minds with intention or to let the world feed it for us. Sadly, most people make the second choice without even realizing it. They reach for their phones before they even rise from bed, flooding their minds with notifications, news, social media, and noise. But what you allow into your mind in those first few moments sets the tone for your thoughts, your emotions, and your focus for the rest of the day. What you consume first thing in the morning becomes the mental fuel you run on. If you start your day with comparison, chaos, and complaints from the outside world, you unknowingly plant seeds of stress and self-doubt in your own mind. But if you begin with wisdom, reflection, gratitude, or learning, you plant seeds of peace, growth, and strength. The question is simple: what kind of garden are you growing in your mind? Think of your mind as a sacred space, a place that deserves to be protected, especially in its most vulnerable state. Right after waking, your brain is highly impressionable. It's in a relaxed, open state where whatever you feed, it has deep impact. So instead of reaching for your phone, reach for something that nourishes you. Read a few pages of a book that inspires you. Write in a journal. Listen to a podcast that stretches your thinking. Pray, meditate, reflect. Anything that builds you up before the world tries to break you down. Social media can wait. Emails can wait. The news can wait. The world is not going anywhere. But your peace, your mindset, and your mental clarity, those are fragile. They need to be built before they can be tested. You can't expect to win the day if your first thoughts are shaped by other people's opinions or problems. You need your own voice to be the first one you hear. Feeding your mind early also reinforces self-worth. It's a subtle but powerful reminder to yourself that you deserve time. Not just to work, not just to give to others, but to grow. You send yourself a message: my development matters, my growth matters, my peace matters. And when you start believing that, you start carrying yourself differently. You walk into the day not as someone who's reacting, but as someone who's leading, even if it's just leading yourself. And no, this doesn't require hours. Even 10 minutes of conscious mental feeding is enough to shift your trajectory. 10 minutes of stillness over scrolling, 10 minutes of truth over trending, 10 minutes of building over browsing. The quality of your input defines the quality of your output and eventually the quality of your life. The most grounded, focused, and purpose-driven people all have one thing in common: they protect their mornings. They don't let the noise of the world rob them of their inner compass. They start from the inside out, building their mindset before building their to-do list. And that's not just a habit, it's a lifestyle. So tomorrow morning, before you feed your timeline, feed your soul. Fill your mind with something that inspires, uplifts, or educates you. Choose your input with the same care you choose the food you eat, because what you feed your mind becomes the story you live out. And you deserve a life that's built on truth, not trends, on purpose, not pressure. Rule 5V. Speak life into your day. The words you speak, especially the ones you say to yourself, have more power than you may realize. Every morning as your day begins, your inner dialogue begins too. The question is, are you speaking life into your day, or are you allowing doubt, fear, and negativity to set the tone? Your voice is the first voice your spirit hears each day, and what you say matters. Speaking life isn't about ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to lead your thoughts with intention. It's about planting words of strength where your doubts lie. It's reminding yourself that even though life may be heavy, you are not helpless. Words like, I am capable, I am healing, I will keep going, or simply, I am enough, can shift your energy in a way no external motivation ever could. The most powerful encouragement often comes from within. We've all been conditioned to speak to others with kindness, but we forget to speak that same way to ourselves. If you talked to your best friend the way you talk to yourself in the mirror, would they still feel loved, respected, safe? Most people don't need more motivation. They need less self-doubt. And one way to dismantle that doubt is through daily, deliberate affirmation, not as a trend, but as a truth you live and breathe every single morning. The words you speak over your day set the emotional atmosphere around you. They are like seeds. What you plant, you will grow. Speak stress, you'll feel tension. Speak peace, and you'll begin to breathe deeper. Speak fear, and you'll shrink. Speak courage, and you'll start to rise. What you declare becomes your lens. So, guard your language. Bless your own morning. Declare that you are stepping into this day with grace, strength, and open hands. And let this be your reminder. You are listening to yourself more than anyone else. Your mind repeats what you say. Your emotions follow what you believe. So wake up and speak life, even if your voice trembles, even if the belief isn't fully there yet. Speak it until it feels true. Speak it until it becomes part of your identity, not to impress the world, but to remind yourself of your own worth. So tomorrow morning, before the rush, before the meetings, before the doubts, pause. Look in the mirror or simply close your eyes and speak life into your day. Say something kind. Say something strong. Say something true, because the words you choose today could be the very thing that carries you through the hardest moments ahead. Speak life and you'll live differently. Rule 60 plan the day. Don't chase it. Have you ever reached the end of a busy day and felt like you were moving all day long, yet accomplished very little that truly mattered? That feeling is a symptom of a life lived in reaction mode. When we wake up and immediately dive into our day without direction, we begin to chase time, chase tasks, and chase expectations. But there's a better way, and it starts with one simple habit: planning your day before it starts to control you. Planning is not about being rigid, it's about being intentional. You don't need to schedule every minute or map out a perfect day. You simply need to know what matters most. When you take just 5 to 10 minutes in the morning to outline your top priorities, you shift from being busy to being effective. You move with purpose instead of panic. A short, focused plan creates a filter for your time, your energy, and your attention. Without a plan, distractions will always win. Emails, notifications, interruptions, and other people's agendas will pull you in 100 directions. But when you know your top 3 tasks, the things that truly move you forward, you can say yes and no with clarity. You gain control not just of your schedule, but of your life. Planning gives you permission to be present because you're not constantly trying to remember what's next. It's also a declaration of self-respect. When you plan your day, you're telling yourself, my time matters. My energy matters. My goals matter. It's not about being obsessive. It's about honoring your vision. Life will always be unpredictable, but a plan gives you a foundation to return to when things go off track. Even if the day doesn't go perfectly, you still have direction, and that direction gives you peace. Planning also helps you build consistency, and consistency is what builds results. Success is never built in giant leaps. It's built in small, deliberate steps taken every single day. When you plan your day, you're building momentum brick by brick. You're choosing to live on offense instead of defense. You're stepping into the role of creator, not just a responder to the world around you. So, before you begin the rush of the day, pause, take a breath, write it down, set your intentions. Whether it's a simple list in a journal, a note on your phone, or a quiet moment in reflection, make a plan. Don't let the day decide who you'll be or what you'll do. That is the number R. The A is decide that for yourself. Because when you plan your day, you're not just organizing time. You're owning your future.